Salam Sejahtera and Salam Malaysia Madani to everyone. We are here today to present our report on fact news and fact-checking challenges. The fast-paced advancement of information technology and the rise of social media have dramatically changed how information is distributed, produced, and consumed. This innovation has also democratized access to knowledge and created instantaneous communication across borders. This environment has led to a critical societal concern, fake news, which can influence public perception, disrupt democratic processes, and destabilize social harmony. The European Commission 2018 defines fake news as verifiably false or misleading information created, presented, and disseminated for economic gain or to intentionally deceive the public. Fake news spreads due to the algorithmic creation of digital platforms which rely on user engagement rather than the accuracy of the information. Social media users often prioritize speed, emotional resonance, and personal expression when sharing content rather than checking its accuracy or source originality.
Our framework focuses on cognitive dissonance, a psychological theory introduced by Leon Festinger in 1957. This theory describes a state of mental stress caused by disparity between a person's belief and behavior. To reduce this psychological discomfort, people try to reject or avoid new information that against their belief. This explains why people tend to spread fake news because they prefer information that aligns with their pre-existing viewpoints. When corrective facts conflict with their long-held assumption, individuals may perceive the valid fact as untrustworthy and reject to minimize the discomfort. Therefore, misinformation is not just a problem of media literacy but one connected to the psychological factor that show how individuals interpret information.
So today I would like to talk about the misinformation and disinformation to the real world impact. So it is vital to distinguish between misinformation and disinformation. This content has the potential to cause a panic and social disruption. For example, during the COVID-19 period, social media was filled with fake news of commodity shortage, leading to a panic buying. So the advent of the pandemic was lead to an infodemic where the misinformation and disinformation were on the rise, undermining the credibility of real news. So as the technology advances, the content gets more powerful as the rise of AI-generated media, including deepfakes, makes it difficult for the public to differentiate between the originality and fake contents. So the studies show that false stories often spread faster, more widely than the factual ones, especially when they provoke strong emotional reaction.
Hi, I will be continuing on challenges of fact-checking and countermeasure. So first, fact-checking limitations. What is fact-checking limitations? Fact-checking is an essential mechanism for correcting falsehoods. However, its effectiveness is limited by the overwhelming volume of misinformation. Second, speed is a major challenge. Fact checks often come out days after the original rumor has already spread, allowing the false story to reach far more people than the correction ever will. The social media algorithms themselves are designed to boost whatever gets the most clicks, comments, and shares, which often means sensational and misleading posts are pushed to the top.
To further elaborate on the challenges of fact-checking and countermeasures, AI-driven fact-checking shows promise in detecting patterns of misinformation. However, AI fact-checking is limited because it bases answers on training data, which may lack access to primary sources and is susceptible to embedded human biases. Thus, a hybrid approach that combines professional fact-checking with AI-driven verification is necessary. It goes without saying that fact-checkers also face public skepticism and distrust, as even corrections backed by solid evidence don't always land effectively.
The most defense against misinformation remains critical thinking. Individuals should practice slower, more deliberate news consumption by verifying source, checking multiple outlets, questioning emotionally charged claims, and pausing before sharing a post. Other solutions include certification program for news organizations to curb misinformation and regulatory requirements for social media and news platforms to integrate independent fact-checking on critical topics. In conclusion, fighting misinformation requires a multi-pronged approach that involves governments, social media platforms, and individuals. We must address psychological habits, rating algorithms, make information systems more transparent, and rebuild trust in fact-checking. The role in combating fake news is not solely the responsibilities of governments, journalists, or technologies, but it requires users to be informed and mindful citizens.